I've never seen anything like it. It helps me tremendously in my business, and I'm new to it, and and I feel like the explanations are solid enough. Anytime we want some help with anything or questions answered, it comes right back. So you've got the support component, and then of course, the scheming and that sort of thing, trying to figure out how to take over the world is there too. So I would say it's well worth the money. It's affordable in comparison to any other program I've seen. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like cringing when I write the check to pay for it, because I feel like I'm getting the value for what I'm being charged. So, and it makes it so easy to get past those initial stages so that you have comfort if you need it. It's basically turning it into a warm call. It's turning an internet lead into a warm call without ever talking to the person face to face, which, that's pretty impressive in my book, especially for, old dogs like me that have been, running by referral only for so long. It's a game changer. I know these loan officers around here have no problems hopping on these calls.
Right.
They're like, absolutely, let's get this thing going. They already know what the landscape is. We figured it out from our follow-up edge conversations. So we're not walking blind.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love how, to be honest, I don't even think it's been a month since we hooked them in, and they already have 2 apps each. Like that's solid.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And, again, we have probably taken more applications, but not triggered. So an app is probably a little bit different in my world than it would be in others. If somebody fills out a 1003, I don't consider that an app unless we have like a follow-up call and talk through it and have a consultation. That's an app to me. Somebody going online and filling out the online app, it depends on if you have a follow-up call or not.
Sure.
So I'd have to go through and figure out exactly how many people have done that. But, I know.
So you're saying the 17 that you guys have gotten as apps, these are not only people that have filled out the paperwork. These are people that are like proactively, you're engaged. These are full on, like, let's get a home in your name conversations.
One of those byproducts for the branch manager's knowledge was it gets people cranking, and their business outside of this system starts to pick up as well.
Sure. It's a mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. So they've each gotten, between the 2 of them, they've gotten 71 leads. One got a 49% response rate in follow-up edge. One got a 50% response rate. So out of 70 leads, so you're saying they've both gotten multiple applications? That's rad. So
yeah, I'm hip with it. So
okay.
Yeah. And utilizing the follow-up edge system, we got the same sort of response, if not higher, with the MRC, the company generated USDA stuff. So the system works. It does. You can plug anything into it as long as you're Johnny on the spot, it's going to work.
Right.
So, because I think from those 300 leads, we're going to see another 30 to 40 of these apps over the next 6 months, just from those, let alone what comes in, in the interim. And then we go into winter, all people do is sit on the couch and play on their computers anyway. So I'm sure we'll get a big uplift in that sort of thing. So there's enough opportunity coming through from a volume perspective right now. In fact, it can be challenging to keep up with all the conversations, especially in mine. So, I'm not too concerned.
When you say the conversations, are you referring to like when people are reaching back out through follow-up edge?
Follow-up edge. So it's got to be managed.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great problem to have. It's just one of those things where you're not expecting it and you're like, oh God, this is another piece of business that I've got to figure out how to manage this, because
right.
The other world does not stop. So you've got, all these people wanting answers, and I don't want to leave them hanging.
Sure.
We're getting these people before they're talking to realtors, which is the golden BB in my business.
Right.
I want to take control of the conversation, right from the very beginning, and then dole them out to my real estate partners as a reciprocity strategy, really.
Sure. No, that's been huge too for, I mean, depending on the structure of the client's business, because I've realized through doing this for a while now that, every loan officer does things a little differently, which probably every business, right? But,
Right.
the one thing that seems to be a common denominator between every loan officer that we work with is those that, because, obviously referrals will always be the best source of everything. I mean, that's any business, right? But there's this like place in the middle between lead gen and referral where you can marry those two systems together and just, it's like turbocharging the whole thing.
Yep.
And it's really cool to see you, utilizing the system that way where, and you're right. I think I was looking over these the other day. I think that there's at least an 80% of the leads are unrepresented by a real estate agent, which is huge.
And even if they say they are, they really aren't. It takes 2 seconds for me to say, hey, look, I've been doing this 20 years in Utah. I work with maybe 25 agents across the whole state. They're not all created equal. Let me take care of you, because I've built trust with them already. They're like, okay, cool. Who should I talk to? I'm like, well, let's talk about personality. How do you like it? And we move through that process, and then bam, they're gone. And there's
Awesome.
zero resistance. They're like, oh, okay, cool.
So you're saying pretty much 100% of the leads that we've given you that have become an app or just going to the realtors you wanted to?
Yeah, I'm not going to let them go to some kid I don't know. Screw that. I don't have time for that shit.
I love it, dude. I love it. That's awesome, man. Well, it sounds like, and I'm especially happy that, Nanette and Tara are having success, especially so early on. So that's really awesome to hear, bro. So
it's cutting edge technology. It will change your game. However, you've got to change a little bit as well. So don't expect magic miracles that your pipeline is going to automatically fill up. You've got to actually work the system.
right.
It's honest, it's effective, and if you do the work, it's going to generate a ton of business for you. But I think it's a great system, and you guys aren't bags, so that helps tremendously.
I'm gonna throw that in the official testimonial.
You can quote me on that. Absolutely. These guys aren't bags, which is nice and refreshing in this industry.
That's hilarious, man.